Hello everyone, it's Debbie Gilbert here from the Business Awards show and owner of the Best Business Women Awards. And today I'm joined by Camille Pierson from the Float Spa in Hove, and she won the Best Businesswoman in Health and Wellness in 2020. And she's also won another award, which I'll let her tell you a bit more about that. So welcome, Camille. Tell us a little bit about you and a bit about your business.
Sure. So thank you very much for having me. It's a true honour and a privilege to sit here alongside you today. So thank you very much for that. So my name is Camille and I am the founder of the Float Spa. The Float Spa is a wellbeing centre based in Brighton and Hove. And when we say well-being, it is a complete holistic approach to wellness. So we have a range of therapies such as flotation therapy, we have massage, we have acupuncture, we have nutrition, we have coaching, and infrared sauna, yoga, and we're a hub, a place where people come to feel and to either feel better or to live a better, healthier life.
It sounds amazing. So what on earth made you set up a float spa? Where did the idea come from?
It's a very personal journey. So prior to Float Spa, so if we flash back to 2014 or even pre that, I was the stereotypical super stressed out person. I worked in the city, so in London, many hours. I worked in London. I also had a job in Brighton. I was in client services, marketing agencies, super stressed at all times, very long days, no breaks, the stereotypical career-driven minded woman that felt that was the normal life, which I now know is not.
What industry are you in at the time?
Marketing, so sales and marketing.
Wow.
So I worked across all industries, and I know that you would know this very well. So yes, I worked in these jobs, and in 2014 my daughter got very sick, and she was blue lighted to intensive care. We were told to prepare for the worst. It was a very awful time. She got better. You would have no idea that she was so sick, and this isn't her story, this is my story. And then when you go through that period of time, so when your world comes crashing down in a rapid space before you, makes you stop in a way. And I then was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety and depression following my daughter's very severe illness. And I wasn't ever expecting that kind of diagnosis. Knowing my childhood now and understanding therapy and understanding this a lot more than 2014, the most out there thing I'd ever had before 2014 was like a massage on holiday. You know, we're talking like I didn't build in self-care practices. I'd never done a yoga class. I didn't live my life well. I just was stressed, drank too much, ate too much, drank a lot of caffeine to survive. And I didn't eat healthily and all these kind of things. And I wasn't very well. I knew something had to change. And it was my dad that suggested I go and have a float, because obviously my response to that was, I don't have 5 minutes to myself, never mind an hour. I have a child, I have my work, my life is so stressful at all times. And actually, yes, something needed to change. I really didn't like my first float. I was very ill and I wasn't expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting to have an epiphany, which we have so many clients coming in for the same, when their scent is a very different to if you're looking for it yourself. And I just came out, was like, oh my God, it was horrible. The place was really dirty. It wasn't right, and everything. And my dad said, you're describing not your experience, you're describing the situation, which is showing that there was a problem with the place. Go somewhere else. And I went to a different place, and actually halfway through the second one I was like, oh my, I calmed down a bit. And the biggest thing for me was the fact I slept for the first time in about 3 months.
Wow.
It was that night, it was unbelievable. And then I went back a couple of days later, and I was halfway through the third session pretty much going, maybe I could do this, you know. And I just felt this shift, and we speak to a lot of clients about this shift. It's like that shift where you suddenly go, oh, and it feels like your body is just like letting go of everything. And so I came out of it and went, you know what, I can do it better than these people. So I decided that I would set up
Wow.
my own float centre. There wasn't a float centre in Brighton Hove, so it made sense. My background was marketing, so that made sense as well. Yes, I was still ill, and the biggest sense for me was the fact that that industry that I was in, I needed to leave. So I was either going to look for another job, or I was going to try and do it with myself. My vision was 2 float tanks, a little reception desk, and me working 5 days a week. It didn't work like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, really, was that the reality? No.
The stark reality is Brighton Hove, their properties are quite difficult to find. So when we found this location, we now have 3 float tanks, 3 therapy rooms, 2 infrared saunas, and a large yoga studio. I mean, it's huge. We have 3,000 square feet. So I mean, it was very different to what I set out to do, but you know, it's amazing. And so we are now fully encompassed in like health and wellness. It's like everything to our core. People come to see us because they're at this life change, you know, something's happened to them. We have lots of people undergoing mental health challenges, and it might be that floating isn't for them, but the yoga classes are. Or it could be that, you know, that floating is for them, and then they go, oh, I've never tried yoga, but we trust you, so then we will take on yoga. So people come to us because of they're at this crossroads, and we just help them and take them on the journey and be part of it with them.
And how far away do people come to you? I mean,
I was just about to mention this guy actually, because he used to come from Margate, and he came for about a year, and he just turned around to me one day and said, you fixed me, I don't need to come anymore. And he used to do, it was like 3 hours.
Wow.
He just was like, actually, you know, I'm done. He had a lot of healing, he had a lot of trauma in his life, and he would come twice a week. And that is a big commitment.
That is.
His son had died, so it was a very personal journey of grief. And when you're going through grief, conventional medicine takes you one route, and actually we can help you, take you on a nice hand-holding journey. And a lot of problems with mental health, when you're going through any mental challenges, you are your healer, and just to give yourself some space and some time, your body and your brain and your mind is amazing to help you learn how to heal yourself. So that's what we do.
So how long have you been going now?
So we opened in February 2015. So we've been going just over 6 years.
Yeah. So looking at the journey of the business, presumably you started just you, and then you gradually recruited staff, haven't you? Because you've got, how many staff have you got now?
5. We did have 9, but obviously COVID, we had to make some cutbacks. So we're now 5 full-timers. So they're all full-time. This is in a way, is a career choice for them to make.
Okay. And so as the business has grown, you know, what's been your thought process behind entering awards?
So this is something that my business partner challenges me on. So in life, I think there's people that are driven by success and people that are driven by money. I am not driven by money. So then it's like, what does success mean to you? So success is a client telling you, like I mentioned, is that we've healed them. Yes. And then success sometimes is getting acknowledgement from like your peers and the wider community, and just reinforcing and have that credibility on how good you really are. Because we have thousands of clients, word of mouth, like so many people recommend us. Our reputation is amazing, and sometimes it's just nice to get that extra recognition by people that are, you know, industry experts that look at all the different businesses and say, this one is a really good one, and this is why.
Because you won or a finalist, weren't you, in an eco-friendly award, a green award?
Yes. So a big thing for us is corporate social responsibility. I was just having this very big conversation earlier. We're really passionate about what we do. So yes, about helping people make change, but also it's like changing for the good. So consuming, like how much we need to consume, how much we need to waste. And so as a business in 2018, lots of people used to grab a bottle of water to go to yoga. And I was just like, you know, although they were bottles that were fully recycled and all that stuff, I was like, do we need to create this waste? And so I then in 2018 said, let's look at what we can do. And what a minefield I opened. So we started looking at everything, so all areas of the business, like, you know, where we create waste and how we can stop creating waste. So we looked at everything from plastic bottles that we now don't have, to any packaging of any of our products that we sell, to how people use like some of the stuff that we use, like earplugs, like things that you kind of can't change, but there's always a solution. So members that are coming every month, some come 2 or 3 times a month, do they need an individual earplug packet every time they come, or could they have a reusable set that they reuse time and time again? And so we made so many changes. We're about 90% single-use plastic free, and for a business like us, that's quite big. And our new thing is we have like we sell lots of bath products. It's a big change from COVID. We have a web shop. And it's funny because I got a comment the other day of someone saying, it's really annoying that the packaging that you sent it out in was obviously reused. And I was like, actually, I'm really glad that you noticed it was, because hopefully you know that that's been reused and we've reused it. I'm sorry if it wasn't shiny and brand new like you were expecting, but the box that was sent to you, that's a brand new box. And then the outer packaging and all the stuffing and everything that was posted was all reused. We repurposed it all.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. So you obviously decided to start entering business awards as well. What was the decision behind that? Was it about demonstrating credibility? Demonstrating credibility. What was your thought process behind?
It's all about credibility. So it goes back to me saying that I know we're incredibly successful with our clients, but actually having someone externally saying, actually, this is a credible business, you should trust them. Obviously, you can then use the logos on your website. And if someone's looking at you versus a competitor, if you are an award-winning business, it's like, of course, they're going to come to you. There's some services, certain yoga teachers, for example, practice yoga in multiple studios. Why would they pick you over somewhere else? Well, because you're a credible business. You have won an award for your understanding, your ethos, and all those kind of things. So business awards to me is all about reinforcing the credibility that in a way you know that you've got, but actually seeing that from a marketing perspective, that's why it's important.
So you won the Best Businesswoman in Health and Wellness, which is a UK-wide award, and you'd won one just before that as well, hadn't you?
We had. It was so we've won many awards over the years. Then we had this hiatus of finalist but never win. So we won quite a few when we first opened, like new startup and all that, and then we had a hiatus for 5 years.
But you kept always entering, which
we did. We were the finalist and never the winner.
We're
like, okay. And in 2020, I said, you know what, we're going to just take a break, because I think it takes a lot to enter awards actually, when you're putting together the entries and getting everything ready. And I think that maybe we weren't doing it quite right, and doing one of your trainings was amazing. So actually getting the insight of what people look for gave us a bit of more understanding of what to expect. But in December, I just, my friend tagged me in a post on Facebook actually, and just said, I voted for Camille. And I was like, oh, great. What have you done? And actually it was a brand new virtual business awards from the Sussex community. The Sussex Business Times is a local newspaper, local business magazine. And they posted a whole load of virtual business awards. And then it was actually that you had to be nominated, and then you were shortlisted. And then once you were shortlisted, which I didn't know anything about, then people were voting for you. So it was pretty special that actually it was the business and the wider community that voted for us, and it was business resilience. Brilliant. So, well, yeah, it was pretty good. It did feel great. And then obviously to win the Best Business Women's Award was just unbelievable. So I can't wait to go to an event in person where we can enjoy it instead of me by myself on Zoom. And I go downstairs and my husband goes, oh, you won, did you? That's great, well done. And you're like, oh,
I know, missed that celebration, which has been one of the sort of big issues of the pandemic, because we tried desperately to recreate as much as we could an online final, but I still don't believe you can hit the spot with an online event that you can with a face-to-face event, because you were a finalist back in 2019, so you'd been there, you saw the atmosphere, and it is an atmosphere of celebration, and it's very hard to create that online. I think we tried, but it's not.
It was amazing. We can't take away of how amazing it was, and what an amazing job that you did. It was fantastic. But you never, in the pandemic, when we all got to stay at home, we all had to stay at home, and we were all sat there with our drink in our room in front of Zoom by ourselves. There was no other solution. You couldn't be with anyone else other than the people that you live with. And so that's how it is.
Make the best of it. We had to make
exactly.
The best of it.
And it was fantastic with the situation that we're in.
So if someone's listening to this and thinking, I'm in health and wellness, I might enter, what advice would you give them?
Do it. Just do it. It's amazing, because I think I said it 5 years ago that the mental and wellness industry, when we look at what happens in the UK, we're always a few years behind the States, and wellness in America has skyrocketed, and that's great, and we knew that that's happening. And then you see trends coming into the UK, and health and wellness now is it's the first time where people actually have been presented with this death rate every day, and actually people now need to take stock of how to look after themselves. So this sector is really set to grow rapidly, and to be recognized and have an award to backing up what you do is just amazing. So you should enter it, because it's so rewarding, and to be recognized as a best businesswoman for health and wellness is great. Super great for your credibility, for your business, and obviously for the future.
So that dovetails nicely onto the future. So you've had a challenging year, because obviously you had to close down, and then you reopen, and then you close down again. And I know you obviously looked at how you could leverage things online as well, and you've done some beautiful online products. What's the future for the Float Spa? Let's just assume that we're not going to keep getting locked down. What's the future for the Float Spa? What would you like to see in the next couple?
To be honest, we're future-proofed if we have to lock down. I mean, if we have to lock down, the treatments that we offer, we're all now protected, and we can actually open for the treatments that we offer for clinical cases.
Okay.
So we're proofed, ready. We spent so much time getting everything ready that if we lock down, we just have to accept it, and hopefully it won't be a never-ending lockdown, as I said the last one. We're still under social distancing. We still have restrictions in place, and that's okay. I'm accepting of that. I personally would love the government to stand up and say that they didn't support businesses like ours, like they said they were going to do, because the stark reality of what we were given versus actually what they say they're going to do is so far off the mark that I think the honesty would be a great thing. But that's my personal opinion. The future looks promising. I like figures. Last month, so the month of May was our second highest ever recorded number of floats in a month.
Wow.
So we were just off our pre-COVID target, which is phenomenal. So that's what I was saying, that the demand seems to be high. People are coming back, they're trusting us, which is amazing. And so we do have a future. There's been many times where I questioned whether I wanted to have the fight, but actually I do. I believe in what we offer. I believe in wellness, and I believe that people need a solution to, living a better life, and that we're here to help them and take them with them, be part of their journey. And yes, we've leveraged everything as we can online. We have our online shop that we're keeping. We have the online yoga, which we're keeping some of it, not all of it. And we've got so many other exciting things. We've just changed our offering. We've got a new infrared sauna, we've got new therapy rooms and all those kind of things. And yes, we're still reliant on people coming in. That's because people need to come in. They need to see other people. And we're gonna keep going and diversifying and changing and evolving, because we aren't the same as we were 6 years ago. We're way better, and we will continue to keep evolving.
You are an incredibly inspirational woman, and I am delighted you've joined us today. And I'm sure your story is going to inspire so many other women out there who are either starting their business journey or are firmly on it, but not thinking, right, what's these next steps? Because I think you've shared some really key things here, and your positivity just shines through in what really has been a very difficult year for you. And you've managed to push forward, keep going. So it's great that you won the Best Businesswoman in Health and Wellness, so well deserved, and that you won the Sussex Business Award as well. And I'm sure many, many more trophies are going to come your way. You will have a cabinet groaning with trophies. And if anyone is in the Brighton or Hove area and wants to relax, then look up the Float Spa in Hove and book your float in or your yoga session and go and see Camille and her team. So thank you for joining me today. Much appreciated. And good luck on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.